Hi everyone, I am Videos Kagames, and our group created TLC, or Technology for Learning in the Classroom. My module is number 2, which is Technology for a Social Studies Classroom. Module 2, let me just go right here to the purpose, is designed to help social studies teacher develop a flipped or blend classroom to teach a World History B Part B class using the California standards as a framework. But it could be used for any teacher to give them any strategies on how to implement a flipped classroom. Okay, so now let's get to the task. Okay, right here. Okay. So the purpose of this task, well, let me just, so you just click right here, which leads you to this one. I already have it set up just for the interest of time. Okay, so I provided a table of content to help you with the task. So the purpose of this task is to provide a place where teachers can share resources to set up their blended or flipped classroom, or just to use more technology in their classroom. So it just provides a place where all teachers could just put in all their information, which is very helpful, especially because most of us do not have classroom sets of books. Okay, so I will start by briefing you on what students will need to do. So if you go click on directions, give you to the link, and right here it says create a presentation, which I already set it up here. So this is what students will do basically. I provided a template, but students are free to use Powtoons or Prezi, any kind of presentation software that they want. So basically they would input the California standards here, define any unknown words in the standards, and their purpose is to teach other students their topic. So any word that they feel that the students might need help in. A video, an instructional video to help about their topic, to help students learn about it. They need to tell me who are the characters involved in the historical event, insert images, and of course cite their sources. They need to tell me what the event is about. Again, images and citing their sources. when did the event take place? Where, and they need to give me a continent, country, state, and city, or many countries, or whichever applies. And of course, insert an image of a map so students know where the event took place. What are the causes of the events? What are the reasons it happened? What are the effects, short-term and long-term effects? Then they need to answer the standards. So after they have the general idea of what the event is, they can answer the standards. They also need to provide a primary document about their topic and answer these basic questions about the primary document. Like who wrote the primary document, describe the setting, what was the reason they wrote it, what was the motivation of the author, what do you think about it, do you agree with it, did it surprise you, did it fit with the time period. Then they need to give me a historic analysis of their topic, which means basically that they need to answer, how does this event still affect the world today? Why is it important that we learn this event? What lesson does this event teach humanity? And why are we still talking about it? And they also could answer, what would you do if you lived through the historical event? If you could go back on a time machine, who would you speak to? What would you bring back? Who would you interview? Of course, as you see, it gets higher in Bloom's taxonomy as they go deeper into their historical event. They also need to make connections with the historical event by saying, what does it remind them of anything they hear in the news or anything related to their life, which goes back to the book we were reading about the brain, how students need to make a connection in order to remember the event. And then finally, their evaluation of the topic. How is it related to them, and what are their thoughts about the topic? And of course, a works cited page. So that is what students will need to do regarding their topic. So going back here, so after they have, so that's, okay, actually, let me go down here. Ooh, sorry. All right, so your job as a teacher is basically to provide information for them to be able to complete this assignment. So how would you do that? Well, you could do like what students are doing, which is go through the topics, imperialism, World War I, and there's different aspects of World War I that the standards covered, the Armenian genocide. So whatever topic you wish, you would just click on it. So I'll just click on the first one, which is imperialism. So if you see, I've already put some visuals. Feel free to put more visuals in. The visuals articulate the time period. It kind of gives kids a sense of what the time period is about. Often when I say imperialism or I mention a word, they're not sure what I say, and then I put up a picture and they say, oh yeah, I know what that means. So pictures are very important for me when I teach. After the visuals, I provided a chart. If you see here, it says the California standard, so students could just easily copy and paste this to their second part right here, the second slide. So it actually works hand in hand with the presentation they have to do. So the next thing is, so I kind of tell students what they would focus on. So I want students to explain how industrialization led to imperialism and explain the pros and cons of imperialism. The next thing is instructional video, and if you see here, after defining the terms, is instructional video. Okay. I also have handouts that I like students to use. So I just want to provide a link for them here where they could just click on it and it could help them answer the main idea, which is the who, what, where, when, and how. Also, where to find good information. I find students just go directly to Wikipedia. So you also need to explain the difference between accredited and unaccredited sources. Primary documents, students can spend a great deal of time researching it, and it is extremely helpful for some for you to just provide links and say, look, here's pick one from here. Okay, and then any student assessment they can study from, and it's extremely helpful when they have somebody else, another student's work to guide them. Okay, so let's go back to the table of contents. Okay. So what do I basically want you to do? Oh, let me just go back to the directions. Okay, so check out the topics. We went over that to do the student presentation. So simply just put any information that would be helpful for the teacher. So you could put, for instance, a visual. So you could copy and paste a visual that articulates the time period. Please cite the source. And if you wish, explain the image, how the image articulates the time period. Any instructional video, please make it less than 10 minutes. Students get really bored. They do not do well with more than 10 minutes. Study.com has excellent videos, and of course the History Channel. Obviously the handouts, if you're not a history teacher, you probably won't have it. But anywhere to find good information, if you say, oh, I found this at the History Channel, just put the link, anything that would help students. Primary sources, I have found since the Common Core standards, we are using a whole bunch of primary sources, and I love them. Students remember them, especially if the primary source talks about something emotional that happened to the person, or how the historic event affected a family personally. They remember that. Or any student assessment. So anything that you find, you just give me 4 informations, that's 4 links. So here's the rubric. So if you provided 4 links or visuals that teachers and students can use, and it's student friendly, so it can't be so high level that students are not able to understand what they read, and it cannot be to elementary school where you would offend students. Okay, and the link, okay, so right here, it may be used in different levels. So let's go back here. So so that would be very helpful if everyone just provides a little information and just gather the information together. We're using this in our department where teachers could just um, share all their information. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. Okay, so I hope this explains the task. Okay, thank you very much for watching.